We are saying the normal range is between 35 to 40 degrees Celsius. So if I press here and my T2 36, we are in the normal range. So you don't touch it. You press again and it gives you T1. We are saying normal range of T1 is 31 to 37. Okay, and our T1 is 34, so it's also okay. But if not, and you want to change it, you just use these arrows. Okay, so you press it, you press on your alarm button here, you press on your T2. If you want to change them, probably it's lower. If you want to increase it, you use these up and down, you press on it, you realize it's changing. Yes, so you can only do that after pressing on the alarm button. Then it gives you access to the T1, T2 temperature range. Then you can titrate it as to whether you want it up or down to suit the normal temperature ranges of the air you want your baby to be getting. So that is what this does, okay? And then we have a place here, another F502. So you realize that this doesn't have buttons for titration. It means that we have, this is what we have set. We want our baby to be getting, right now it's at 23% F502. But the one you see down here is what the baby is actually getting. Okay, so because this isn't connected to an oxygen source, you realize that the baby, or there's no baby anyway, but you are still getting 21%. So whatever figure that you see here is what the baby is actually getting, irrespective of what you have said. So if it's too low, here we might have variations. It's not always that you get it at the same level. We might have variation. The variation of like 5 more or less is not bad. But sometimes you can get like 20 or 30, then you know there is a problem. It's either there's something wrong with the oxygen source, so you will check. Here is central. So you just go around and you realize that all the babies are not getting the required oxygen you're supposed to get. So you refer to the people in charge of it to fix it for you. Okay, so that is what the top here is about. Okay, so we are going to talk about the down part. I said it's in 2 parts. We have these top parts that talks about the flow, the F502 and the pressure. And the down part is more of like a monitor, how you monitor the baby. Okay, so if I'm done here, let me put it off. Yes, so it's in 2 phases. You can put one off and put the other on. So you put this one on. Yes, and that's how it comes on. Okay, so let's pay close attention. I left this here. I said we were going to talk about it later. So it's like this, and it's our saturations cable. Yes, it's used to check the saturations, the oxygen saturations of the baby. It's used to check the SpO2, and this is how we fix it. Okay, so you see just the shape here should tell you how this goes in. Remember, it all has pins, and we didn't want you to be just turning them like that, okay, to break the pins inside. So, and it has these hoods here too. So you just press it like this. It sort of opens it up so that the whole thing can just admit it just like that without you having to struggle. Okay, so you check again, make sure it's going in the same way. Yes, and you leave it. Remember, there are hoods here. You press on it to release. So these ones, you press on it like that, it opens, and then you just insert it and you leave it and it locks up. Okay, so that is the cable used to check the saturations. When you do that, you see these lights come right on. One is the sensor, the other one sends the signal. So you put it on the baby to give you the readings of the heart rate and the saturations of the baby. And this is how you get. Okay, so let's see this. This says sensor off. So when you walk into a room where baby is using it, you see sensor off, it means it is not on the baby. It is not on me. It is connected over. It's not on the baby. So you check, you make sure you put it on the baby. You put it on the right side of the baby. So you see that on the left, on the right leg, or on the right arm, just like that. I'm not a baby. We don't have a baby here. But then when you see this, lines, it means that it's trying to pick a signal. It's reading something. Yes, so that is what it does. So the most important thing, when you put it on, you should see these lights. And these lights, when you put it on the baby, the light should be directly opposite to this. So that one sends the signal, the other one receives it. And then it will give you the accurate saturations of the baby. Sensor off, it is not on the baby. And then when it gives you these straight lines, it means it's trying to pick a signal or it's reading. Okay, so that is what this is about. Okay, so we have a normal heart rate of a baby and the safest saturation rate we want our baby to be. We are seeing the heart rate, we want it to be 100 to 160 beats per minute, okay? And the saturation, we want 90 to 95. Those are the safest ranges that we want for our baby. Remember we talked about retinopathy of the newborn and all that. So basically, what we want to do with this part is, whilst it's monitoring the baby, the machine should be able to tell us when there is something wrong with the baby. It should be able to alarm when all these parameters that we are setting is going below or above to prevent complications in the baby. So this is the part that measures your heart rate, okay? The part that measures your SpO2, sorry, and this is the part that measures your heart rate. There is an SpO2 sign here, and there's a heart sign here, okay? So we want to set the up and the down parameters. So if we are saying that the normal heart SpO2 or the safest range of our SpO2 is between 90 to 95, okay, then we wouldn't want it to alarm the very moment it goes above 95 or the very moment it goes below 90. So we would set our alarms +2 -2, so 88 and then 97, meaning that if the saturation should go above 97, then it should alarm so that we do something about it. Or if it should go below 88, then it should alarm so that we do something about it. And this is how you put the information into the system. So to do that, there's a percentage sign here. Okay, so the SpO2 is measured in percentages. So there's a percentage sign here. When you press on it, you realize this starts blinking, meaning it's ready for you to make adjustments to it. Then we have a plus and a minus sign here. Okay, it stopped, so you press it again. And we are saying that our upper was 1 + 2. So if it's 95, then we are going to 97. So we are setting it to 97. So we press on a plus and go like that. It's 97. I want my 97. So we press OK to lock it in. Immediately you press OK, you realize it's gone down to your lower limit. We are saying we want the lower limit to be 88. Okay, so 88, we have 89, meaning I should reduce it by 1. Okay, so you stop the game, we have to start the whole process. You press here, you press on the percentage sign, it starts beeping. I like the 97, so I lock it in. Then it goes up here, 89, I reduce it by 1, so I press the minus button. 88, I like it, so I lock it in. So I have set my parameters. Okay, that is for the SpO2 part. The same way when it goes to the heart rate part, we have a heart sign here. So you press on the heart sign, and we are saying we are using 100, 160. And we are using +10 -10. Okay, so if 100 and 160, we are talking about 170 and then 90 to be our upper and our lower parameter. So I select it again, and this is 180 and I want 170. So I bring it down. Yes, I have 170. Then it's okay. Then it comes to the lower part, and I want 90. So I bring it down. Yes, the 90 is okay. I lock it in. Remember, this is patient dependent. Okay, it is not automatic. You have babies with other issues. Some babies have cyanotic heart disease and all that. It doesn't mean that necessarily you should have these parameters. So based on the baby's condition, then you set your parameters and you set how you want your alarms to go off anytime the baby needs help. Okay, so you have an alarm button here too. Okay, so if in any way it is alarming, you just press on this the alarm button. Whilst you see this yellow LED light popping up, then you know that your alarm has been silenced. We have another alarm sign. This place has two alarm signs, okay? We have one that silences the whole place, and one that will beep when there's a problem with the heart rate. So you see there is a heart sign here and a speaker sign beside it. So to get that silenced, you have to press on the heart with the speaker sign crossed on it. Then you press the alarm button, then it gets the whole place silenced off. Remember, in less than 2 minutes, the whole alarm will come back again. So depending on what the problem is, you fix the problem before you should make sure, before you will know that it is solved. Either than that, in less than 2 minutes, like 110 seconds, the alarms are coming back on. So that is basically what we talk about here. You set your parameters, and then there are instances that you put off these powers, okay? Or let me say we are working and then the power just goes off. You have set your parameters. If the power just goes off, not yourself, you didn't do it yourself, it's not intentional, there is a light out or something, the parameters that you set will be intact if the power comes back on. But then if you deliberately put it off, okay, so let's pay attention to these parameters here. We have 97, 90, 88, we have 90 and 170, okay? So let me put it off by myself, and let's put it back on. You realize we have lost it, because we had 170 here, it's now 180, okay? And we had 90 here, it's now 100. So if the power goes off, you have all your parameters saved. But if you intentionally put it off, you lose it. And then you have to reset the whole thing again. Remember, they are just alarm limits that you are setting that it will keep for you, not the baby's saturations or the heart rate. It doesn't have a memory to store that. So it just starts picking up from right when you start, back with the limits if the power goes off or something, and then you will come back again. Okay, so how we clean it, we have to clean everything, okay? So how we clean this, please, we use alcohol rub. We don't put this in chlorine. We don't do that. So we use alcohol rub. So you take it out, and then you rub it with your alcohol, with 70% alcohol, okay? You clean it. So if you are going to put it on a baby, you start from here all the way down, okay? And then that is how we clean it. So let me put it back on. Okay, so this is basically it. So remember, we talked about the top part, we talked about the down part, we've talked about all the components, and we've talked about what each and every one does and how you will control each and every one of them when you want to use it. Okay, so let's say there is a baby who has been on the ward for so long. I've seen babies' sides not being changed, but we have to change them, because remember, it's like if we don't change it, it will end up as like a 10K or something. So this, we have other types. Okay, this is quite soft. Yes. But even that, we expect that after every 4 hours, you change the side. So if it's on the leg, you change it and put it on the arm, because it will start causing damage to the tissues where it's been tied for long. And at the end of the day, it will occlude blood supply to the parts. And then you have good intentions, you are helping the baby, but at the end of the day, you are rather hurting the baby. So we change the sides, okay? You realize that it's been there for so long, it will occlude the parts, so you change the sides. Okay, so now I've had an alarm. So as I said, we have one LED light on. So to get this place silenced, you just press on the second LED and it goes off. You've seen these lights too. I have silenced it, but it's still beeping, meaning that I just silenced it, but the problem still is there, so it needs to be fixed. So the alarm, you can either hear it or you see it. Okay, so you see it by either these 3 LED lights or the sound that we just heard, and then you put them off and then you fix the problem. After fixing the problem, and then you should be sure the alarm isn't returning. Either than that, less than 2 minutes, it's coming back on. Okay, so I think that is all. Thank you very much for your attention.